y'all, it's me Deja B, back at it again with another video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to get the perfect wash and go. And that's tea, ladies and gentlemen. Okay guys, so let's really get into this. First, I just want to start by saying that everyone's wash and go and everyone's hair is going to turn out differently. Don't be upset if your hair doesn't turn out like mine or someone else's, because everyone has different curl patterns and textures and densities. And by density I mean some people have more strands of hair in their head and some people like me have a little bit less, so my hair isn't as thick as someone else's, so I can't expect it to look as full and as thick as the other person's. Now can I? No, I cannot, and neither can you. So it's good to set reasonable expectations when you are going into the wash and go journey. Some people prefer to do, other styles and different things because wash and goes are a bit of a science. They require a lot of work and research and trial and error, I should say, when it comes to finding the right products to do the right thing, So I'm here to tell you a little bit how you might be able to do that, okay? So first I want to say that in order to get the perfect wash and go, your hair has to be in the perfect state to do a wash and go hairstyle. Some people's hair is, and by perfect state I mean healthy. So some people's hair is in a good enough state to do protective styling, to do mini twists, maybe even some braid outs and twist outs and things like that. Those kinds of things distort your hair texture. But when it comes to doing a wash and go, if you want your hair to look like this, you want it to look tamed, not super frizzy, not all over the place, you want it to be easy to do, your hair has to be healthy enough for that. And if your hair isn't healthy enough for that, if you have lots of split ends and thinning strands and all of that, in order to achieve the perfect wash and go, you just gotta let those strands go. And sometimes, I know it's hard, but it means you gotta literally let your hair go, let a lot of your hair go in some cases. So that's the first thing you got to do, is you got to get your hair to a healthy point, to where a healthy state, to where you can get that perfect wash and go. Then of course you want to find the proper products to achieve the perfect wash and go. Now I can't particularly tell you what products are best for you. I can tell you what products are best for me, and I have lots of videos of products that work well for me. I'll go ahead and tag, link, and you'll be able to see. But yeah, you gotta find products that work well for your hair. You have to listen to your hair. So that's one thing. One thing I can tell you though is that certain products work better in certain seasons. Now of course gels work a little bit better in the summertime, especially if you live in humid areas. A gel is going to hold your hair together and hold your hair down a little bit longer. It doesn't allow for all of that humidity and moisture to absorb into your hair super quickly. Now of course you can still wear custards and creams and butters and stuff in the summertime too. I just personally, based on my experience, and if you live in a really humid place, I would suggest that you add a gel on top of that. And then in the wintertime, of course, butters and creams and things like that are going to work better because they're a lot more moisturizing. And you can also put a gel on top of that if you want to. That is your choice. Yeah, so those are the things that are going to work best. It did take me a little while to realize that I should have been adding more gels to my regimen during the summertime. I would go outside, my hair would shrink up really bad, and then I was like, oh, I've been holding out on the gels. But that was like a little more than 2 years ago when I realized that. And I know that some people are doing the whole no butters and creams things, just like maybe a leave-in and a gel, and if that works for you, then that is completely cool, as long as you properly cleanse, condition, and leave-in condition your hair. And by condition I mean deep condition, leave-in condition. Those things are going to give your hair the proper moisture. And then you can, if your hair is moisturized, a lot of times you can use a good deep conditioner. Your hair already feels moisturized. You don't necessarily have to go in with a lot of other moisturizing products. To do that, you could just put a gel on top of that if that works for you. Just make sure your hair is moisturized before you do that, because you don't want your hair to snap, crackle, and pop. Once you find these perfect products, these products that work well for you, you may or may not have to use a leave-in or a butter or cream, but you want to make sure whatever products that you use, you spread throughout your hair really well. So you need to go from roots to ends. You don't want puffy roots, you need to coat your roots with the product. And for me, honestly, a leave-in conditioner is going to prime my hair way better than just going in with the gel. So if I use a leave-in conditioner, that's going to start adding that moisture back into my hair, and it's going to prime my hair for when I go in with the gel. And then when I go in with the gel, the leave-in and the gel, I both am going to go from root to ends. And then I'm going to make sure my hair is fully coated. You want to make sure your hair is fully coated so that your hair looks consistent, concise, all around, and you don't have any frizzy flyaways, like too many frizzy flyaways when it comes to drying and stretching and all of that. We want your hair to look, when it's wet, you want your hair to look really, really neat. You want it to be very concise, and you don't want it to look puffy. If it looks puffy, then you're either not using the right product or you did not coat your hair well enough. And again, I can't really tell you how to coat your hair because your hair might be way thicker than mine, your hair might be a little bit thinner than mine, so the amount of product you're going to have to use, you're going to have to gauge yourself. And I have plenty of wash and go videos and other styles and stuff, and if you see, like, I'm always breaking through my hair, making sure the product is there through and through, and I don't miss any spaces. Don't miss any spaces, because if you miss spaces, you're gonna have cases, okay, honey? So once you have fully coated your hair, you have your leave-in, your custard, your gel, your butter, your cream, whatever you have. Put those on, you layer those products on, make sure your hair is smooth, make sure it's not frizzy. You go to dry. Now drying can be completely up to you, whether you want to use a blow dryer, whether you want to use a hooded dryer, a diffuser, that is completely up to you. But once you dry your hair, you want to make sure you give your hair time to fully set. Now sometimes when you use a hooded dryer, you can do that and go if that's your option. I mean, if that's your choice. But for me, I don't have a hooded dryer, so I use a blow dryer. I try to get my hair as dry as possible, and even when I feel like it's 100% dry, I don't stretch it until hours later or the next day, because I want to give my hair time to set in that state, and I don't want to disrupt any parts of the hair that might still be a little moist. Because if the hair is a little moist, then when you go to separate it, you're gonna disrupt that curl pattern, and it's going to become frizzy. And when your hair becomes frizzy, your styles don't last as long, your styles can get more tangled, and your hair won't look as good as you might want it to look. So we're basically letting our hair set to minimize frizziness and minimize the disruption of any curls. You want your curls to stay together, honey, and together, okay? Until you're ready to separate them. Then once you give your hair time to set, you want to use your preferred stretching method. My initial preferred stretching method is to use a blow dryer to stretch. I don't really know why, it's just how I do it. It's just the quickest way if I'm trying to, I guess it's just the quickest way if I'm trying to finish a video. I don't want to band it, wait multiple hours. If I'm trying to finish a video quickly, I don't really want to wait hours to, with banding and stuff like that. Banding definitely works. I usually band after blow drying. Banding is definitely going to work for you, but I just start with a blow dry first most times, and then I either band, sometimes I plait, but banding is going to give you more volume while maintaining your curl. It's not going to maintain the exact curl pattern that I have right now when I wake up tomorrow after I band my hair, but it's going to be very close, and it's going to be a little more voluminous because of the banding. Plaiting is going to give you, it's going to keep your hair pattern, but it's not going to give you as much volume. So if you're looking for more volume, you should just band, and don't be afraid, to band. I use my scrunchies. And usually I use about 2 scrunchies per section of hair. I would say I band pretty tightly unless I get lazy and I don't really feel like doing much, but by the time that happens, it's been a few days and my hair is already pretty stretched. So if you want more volume, band. If you don't really care that much about volume, or if your hair is already voluminous, then feel free to plait. And then if you want to continue having your hair look good, then you need to continue a consistent nightly regimen, whether that's banding, whether that's pineappling, whether that's plaiting or twisting or whatever. Like, you need to keep up your nightly regimen for as long as you want your hair to look good. You want your wash and go to stay top notch, then you do what you gotta do. You do what you gotta do. You do what you gotta do. Until it's all over, I ain't going. It's all over. Yeah, so that's pretty much all of my steps to a good wash and go. Of course, it's important. I did mention cleansing. Of course, you want to make sure you cleanse your hair before you do any new style for the most part. That's going to get you a very long way when you start fresh. Of course, you can do some styles not so fresh. Just depends on how much product you have on your hair. If you're trying to add more product and you don't want a lot of buildup, it's just best to just get the gunk off your hair and let your hair breathe for a little bit. So of course, always start with that and then follow the other steps that I have for you. If you have any questions about what products I like to use, I have or will now link the videos that I have, any tips and tricks that I have for you guys above or at the end of this video, just so you can see a more in-depth view of the products that I like and what I actually do to my hair. If you are new here, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, share, comment, all of that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Peace.